And welcome to this third day of our 3-day webinar, Manifestation from the Pure Heart, the second part. And I'll just allow you to find me and check if I can see myself. Here I am. It's always funny to see yourself. Here we are. So this should be. Now I believe it is everywhere. Good evening and welcome here. And let's open to this energy. And we'll use what we already opened. Hello, hello, and welcome. Join in the energy. And I actually made a bit of an investigation because I called it the centered work condition, but I could hear that it was not condition. So what was it? And I just find it here. Because that means something different. The centered working mode was a better word for it. The centered working mode. So let's open to the centered working mode. Connect with your body, your sense of yourself. Open your observation. So if you have the availability, sense yourself both from the inside out and from the outside and in. And don't think about it. Just try it. If you begin to think about it, often it's too difficult. The energy supports you in the state of consciousness where this is possible. So just to slide into it and supported by the energy is the best way. Observing and being connected with your body and your sense of being here. Breathe. And at the same time, allow yourself to be connected with your emotional state of being right now. Not describing it, not analyzing it. Just being connected. Observing at the same time. And then entering this sense of the vibration in the surroundings, and your all in all vibration. And what your pure heart says. This is our entrance. We connect with a conscious choice. And by connecting with a conscious choice, that's an entrance to the new era possibilities with the energies. Breathe. The energy supports us when we make these choices. And the next step into the entrance is to use this centered working mode for working with energies. I'm not sure it's the right word for it, but the energy know what we're talking about. I'm aligned up and down, all the way around, connected with Earth, and in my center state. Allow the change when you call upon it. Breathe and observe the change. When we use this entrance, it's a support for us to allow a state of being to be the best that can be to work with the new era energies at this time, right now in our way. So this is not an opening that comes from the outside, from something else. It's not like a master. It's your master that opens from within. Maybe you can sense that. And it's really important in the new era that we have this support in the energy field. And the sort of support I deliver is the channeled words, the descriptions, the teachings. It's a sense of the energy. It's a sense of you being here, and the support for the meeting to happening with this field of consciousness and wisdom and energy support. And I deliver this by holding the span of the vibrations that we are carrying as earth beings here. And I'm carrying this spans of vibration and allow it to be connected with higher consciousness that delivers this support for us, that to each and every one of us will mirror ourselves into a more balanced state with different purposes. And the purpose of the centered working condition is to be in a state of consciousness where our intention is clean and aligned with what makes sense to us in all our layers at the same time. So that's a support we are giving when we are entering this state, no matter what we're doing. We can't live in this state of being, but we can work with it, and we can use it in our everyday life to zero ourselves really fast. Maybe you can sense that. Okay, so the energy opens now for our continuing work with the manifestation in the manifestation room. And before we enter in the room, I would like to ask if there's any questions. If you have used the manifestation, the possibility, or have thought about anything related to the teaching, or anything else that just has popped up or came by these last days. Today we will work with enhancing the manifestation room and our manifestation room, manifestation work, by all the support that we can have. And the support we can get is delivered from all the spirits, all the energies, and also the soul connections, the contract connections that we are carrying. So when we are opening to the enhancement of the manifestation, that means we will optimize all our connections and entering space where optimizations, you can say, fractal consciousness with constant updates of our connections is possible. And we have a sharing here. Yes, I thought about the flower teaching. Oh, the teachings with the floors, the carpets. Is that what you're thinking about? I thought much about trust. Yes. Truth and trust is really topics that will be awakened when we work with manifestation from the pure heart. I have the same experience. It's a trick to keep the connection to the pure heart. I seem to have many counter reactions. Not so much a trick, more opening to the compassion by the recognition of how difficult it is. And when we look in our surroundings, look in our close connections, or family, our loved ones, our dear ones, our relations in all layers, our society, our world, when we look all the way around and we acknowledge how difficult it is to stay with the pure heart, that's what brings in the compassion to do it. And that's the first layer, you could say. And then the second layer is to experience that it works. So it's really difficult. You can see it everywhere. You can overview it. You can watch it in yourself. Oh, it's so difficult. And then to acknowledge, to recognize that you actually have tools here that support you into the connection. That I experience ignites my compassion. And then we can add on. We work much when we work as new era shamans, modern shamans. We work much with the acknowledgement and the recognition of what is reality, what is something we believe in, and what will we be inspired by. And the layers or the boundaries between these, they are really clear. But in our own meeting with our own reality, they can be different than the mutual one. So, for instance, there's a lot of things that I acknowledge is something I believe in when I see it from the outside, but from my inside, I know it because I have so many experiences that has showed me that it's true. And then there's some of the things I'm seeing, I'm working with, and I know they are inspiring me more than I can say that I know it, or I can believe in it somehow, but I'm not sure yet. And from the perspective where I'm believing in it now, and it's quite inspired, is that working with the manifestation like we do, because it's time and the energy, the mutual field of consciousness is mature, and it's actually more than mature to switch into the pure heart condition. Then every person that makes this choice and to be in it will affect the possibility, like chain reactions in the mutual field of consciousness. And I've been working since 2012 in the huge mutual fields. And in 2012, the 21st of December, there was a shift into 5D, a kind of pseudo shift into 5D in the mutual consciousness field. And here, the 21st of December 2022, we entered 7D. When we had this change, beforehand, it has been like the most power a person could have in the mutual field was related to how other people saw you. It could be due to fear, it could be due to love, it could be due to hierarchies. Then the more strong acknowledgement you will have from other people, the more strong effect you will have in the field. That changed completely the 21st of December 2022. So now it's your alignment with the pure heart and what makes sense to you, where all your layers of consciousness is equally distributed and agreeing upon what you're doing. When you do that, when you are agreeing and you're aligned, you make huge effects in the usual field of consciousness right now, and creating change reactions where the pure heart condition opens. You could say it could be like, if you mirror it into technology, it will be like the pure heart state of being will go viral. So to me, even though it's difficult, it really ignites my compassion for the work. And maybe it doesn't make sense to you the same way, but I will try to share this different perspective of how to enhance my compassion and the ignition for the work. And the most important part overall is my recognition in my everyday life that it makes change. If it doesn't make change that I can see in a way where I'm believing it, where I know it in my everyday life, there will be a gap. And this gap will be difficult, and it can create cracks in my connection with the pure heart condition, the pure heart way state of being. So it's the hugest part of our work is actually when we use this to have actual experiences, and that we have a meeting, an experience with this actual appearance in a way where it's not about believing anymore. Then we create foundations without cracks, and then it's much more easier to stay there. I don't know if it made sense. Thank you so much for the important question. And we have a sharing here a comment as well. I haven't got the opportunity to see number 2, so I will reply for the first web day. I felt so helped by the carpets and got a feelings of all our topics, but I missed gratitude. Okay. And then let's bring in the gratitude today. And thank you so much. Beautiful. And manifestation of love, that we could see it as a flower and give it energy, but maybe I mix it up with the Medbed teachings. I think you do. I don't, or maybe it's me who's begin to mixing things up. What do the rest of you say? Have we worked with the flower that we were bringing energy? Oh yes, we did, didn't we? It was the opening on the first day. It is channeled, so sometimes I'm not remembering all of it. What do the rest of you say? Did we have it at did we have a meeting in the energy with the channeled words that talked about that we are flowers, and when we are met with the energy, we opens. I feel so exhausted after a month of illness. I had to get up, so I tried to zero myself and go into the manifestation room and did manifest more energy and strength. It worked. It really worked. It was beautiful. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing and igniting all of us to look out for more like this. And so good for you, and I hope you'll be well soon. It's clear for me that it's difficult for me to ask and remember to ask for good things for myself. Easier for me to wish for other people. I therefore have to remember to give, to focus and ask for what I would like for myself. Yeah. Yeah. And I will just go back to that because now I had the support. Oh, this was the one with the flowers, the bouquet to attract the person we would like to match with. That one, that's a beautiful one. And actually, I have a bunch of people that have used it, and they are now with partners that really match them well. I have to say, it will be too strong or maybe even wrong to say that it's easy. It's not. It's never easy, but for sure, the match brings them, you can say, meetings where the change makes so much sense. The movements, the steps they make is strong and meaningful. Thank you so much for the support. I forgot about it and I think it's because it came in during the channeling, but also like an extra thing. Thank you for the support. And back to this really important thing about giving focus and ask for what you could like for yourself, because this is really important. I heard over and over again in the channelings that we can only give as much love to anything else, other people, as we can to ourselves. So let's use the manifestation room and bring in gratitude and use the manifestation room to give love to ourselves. Breathe. And if you're not centered anymore in the working condition, I still love that word, that description or that name for it, but it's not the right one. Okay. I'm balanced all up and down, all the way around, connected with earth and in my center. I change. That meant that I was not there anymore. Breathe. And then you put your intention on opening of your manifestation room. Maybe like the first day, place your hands on your heart, open through your heart. But when we use this centered work mode for energy work, then it's ensured that it's warm-hearted, that we are connected with the pure heart, no matter what energy work we will do, or no matter what other conditions, state of being that we will open through. Because that centered working mode ensures that we are completely aligned with the new era energy ways in any way. Okay, entering into the manifestation room, and we are acknowledging that we are taking in our own powers, as we learned about in the manifestation from the pure heart, the first part. And entering this room, and we have the carpets that support us to open the frame, and they are still there for last time we used it, and now we are expanding it by adding in gratitude. So you put your intention on gratitude as a part of the foundation. Oh, it's good. A part of the frame, the foundation for the manifestation. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay. Now we put our intention on begin the manifestation. And what we will manifest here is love to ourselves. By that, we kind of short circuit, positively short circuit the manifestation room, because the manifestation room is love to ourselves. And then from that foundation, the possibility to manifest and create love to anybody else at the same time, always at the same time. But let's positively short circuit it by making this choice. Breathe. And then the energy begins to build up. And when you sense energy is strong, or if you can't make a sense of that change, you just use a couple of minutes and then you send it out. And then you see what happens. Breathe. And you don't need to hold up your arms. To me, it just makes sense. It gives me a sense of the energy shift. Often sitting with the palms up ignites a sense of receiving. And when you hold your hands like this, a sense of giving. But it's your intention that puts the direction. Breathe. Then if you sense the energy is going down, you are again going into the part where you build up the energy. And if you're not sensing the energy is going down yet, you just keep it there. I sense it going down. Let it build up again. And send it out. Beautiful. And this also opens a really good space and energy for this last part of the energy work that goes with this manifestation room activation and teaching. And that's the enhanced field. And all people is connected with support in any way. And we ignite the manifestation room with support. But we can add in by opening our arms to any support that's aligned with the pure heart. And actually, we can receive the support and related to what we can imagine and to what we have as an experience. So with the smallest experience we have, where we have received support, opens the possibility. And that goes when we open the manifestation room with this possibilities, this activation, then we can drag upon the wisdom from the soul as well. So your soul's wisdom and knowledge about support can be used for enhancing the manifestation room. And when we have done that, we can go back to the bouquet of the flowers, because I sense a lot of interest in that. So being in your manifestation room, here we ignites from the deepest and our highest perspective, calling upon support aligned with the pure heart to our manifestation of ourselves, our lives, and by the manifestation room, all possibilities in all realities, we call upon them to support our manifestation. Breathe and allow it to show itself to you. Sense a shift in the energy if any such appears. Maybe you can imagining something that appears. People who's used to see things, they see it. But even people who's not used to see things have visions, and access often begins when we work with this energy work like we do here. And in the beginning, they will think, oh, it's just me imagining. But if you have any imagination that comes by that surprises you a bit, then it's not something that you thought about. Then it's something that came to you. And if nothing comes like that, being in the meeting with yourself and the energy is more than enough. Breathe. And as the manifestation rooms is enhanced, you can see whatever comes by, if it's a thought, a feeling, or a vision. And then you can ask in the state of being for a sign of this support. And maybe this sign can show itself to you also in your everyday life. If you need support, or if you forgot that it's there, then this sign can appear. If you allow it. There's really strong boundaries between the worlds and the realms, layers. So we need to allow the access to have this pop-up messages to remember the support. So let's allow this. To me, it's a sense of a hand in the back. It can be anything. There's no rules. The only rules is that it comforts you in some way and makes sense some way, even though you can't comprehend. And if you have a sense that, I don't know, it doesn't make sense, I can't, it feels odd, it feels off, then you just release it and see if something new comes by. Relax. And you can try to have this a bit funny way in your mind where you try to remember how the outside of your front door looks. Try to remember how the outside of your front door looks. Then that's the state of being where the field has the best access to communicate with you. In this state where you're focused and defocused at the same time. Breathe. And then we finish that energy work with enhancement. Relax a bit and then follow. It's a good idea to follow when we shift as good as we can, because that enhances the connection between the different layers of our consciousness. So breathe and then let go of the manifestation where we were at. And then we step out of the manifestation room. Breathe. And then we release the centered work condition, work state of being. Follow how it's experienced. Catch the change. Observe. We have a couple of sharings here, comments. I sense a lot of strong energy. Get hot and red in my face. Touched. Also very small, bit sad, even though it's huge light, love, energy. Usually I see, but not today. Really strong energy. And this beautiful sharing actually shows the difficulties that is with our language. That our language, the words, they don't contain the state of beings that we are open with when we begin to have space for a soul experience. Thank you so much. And a sign here, to me, it's a lovely scent. Beautiful. And sharing here, I see a beautiful soft peach, and in the back of that, the most beautiful planet with half light on it, blue and yellow orange. So soft, peaceful, and full of life. Beautiful. Wow. Thank you for the sharing. Comments. Okay. So, due to the interest, let's talk a bit more about the bouquet with flowers. And you can use this as well when you have a partner. It's not only to connect with a new partner, to attract a new partner. It also supports the connection with the partners that we already have. So the way to use it is that you look for a specific way of being that you seen, you met in someone, anyone. So it could be, and it could be anything. I mean, anything. So it can be a person who smells good. Oh, I just love that kind of voice with a soft tone. I just really love when somebody is taking good care of themselves. Then you check one of these and they will be a flower. So for instance, it's just, I love somebody who's taking good care of themselves, for instance. And then you really focus on that. You focus on how much it makes sense to you. Allow it to ignite in you, not to a special person, but this sense that it makes in you. So you are inducing the reaction by choice. Can you try to do that? Allow it to really, really be strong. And then when it is as strong as it can be, you focus on it and kind of enjoying it. And this is what is called white magic as well. Breathe. And then when you sense, oh, it's strong and I'm really connected with it, then you put this flower in your heart and contain it there. Sense what happens when you put it in your heart and you contain it there, and it's just and oh, it could be, and it's really important that you resonate with, even though you think, oh, that was a good one that Marianne was taking there. If it's not resonating with you like that, no matter how good idea it could be, it wouldn't work. So you need to find something that you really find attractive in a deep and high way, a strong level. And at the same time, you can see it makes sense to you, it's healthy, there's nothing in you that's against it. If anything in you is against it, then it won't work. So just finding these capacities, these ways of being, these facets actually is a treasure hunt somehow. And to allow yourself to meet it, and you can meet it in anybody, and that's allowed because you're not connecting it with them, you're not creating an attraction to a person, you're not creating a connection with that person. It's you're creating a connection with what vibrates, what ignites in you by mirroring it with this person. Does it make sense? And then it's important that you're watering this flower tomorrow again, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And when you bring in the second one, to me it could be, oh, I just love somebody that smells good and is at peace with themselves at the same time. So sometimes people smell good because they're really aware of people like them, but it's not that kind. It's a kind where people just smells good because they do, and then I ignite that. I feel it. I allow it to be strong in me. I let it vibrate. I sense it. I remember a lot of different persons where I have this experience that they smell good, and how much I like it. And it's not connected to a certain person. It's my experience that I'm igniting and creating that flower. And when it's strong, I put it into my heart. Sense how it is when I'm connecting it with my pure heart. And my heart will contain this flower. And then it's important when I let it be and then I come back. Then it's really important that I remember both flowers. Okay? If nothing can go wrong, but it won't work as well if I'm not remembering. And the first one was somebody who's good at taking care of themselves. And somebody who smells good. So it's important that I ignite both of them. And it takes time. It's better to endorse and be connected with one flower deeply than having 10 that you're not so related to. And when you are really ignited with the flower and you have done it for several days, then it's easy to remember. And the energy work that opens is that it ignites your state of being that attracts this in the surroundings, in the persons, in the meetings. And in yourself, of course, because there's a reason why you can attract it positively. This is the opposite. And this is the opposite of the boundary attractions and the what you call it, the negative pattern attractions, the negative polarizations. This is the opposite. This creates positive polarizations and attractions, because it ignites from a fulfilled state that you create yourself. When we are attracting from an unfulfilled state, we are attracting the lack. And then we will attract somebody who's lacking as well and who can meet this and at the same time ignite in them what they need and what they don't need. And then we can swirl around with each other's patterns. By igniting this from a fulfilled state with connection through the heart, then we are attracting the opposite. Something that can support us in releasing not the boundaries, releasing the bonding and negative bonding, the dependencies, and open for possibility to connect through positive boundings. Breathe. And if you use your manifestation room when you create the flowers, the bouquets, and when you're watering it with your awareness, with your connection with it, and ignites it, creating surplus of state of being with it. When you use the manifestation rooms, you are supported in not igniting the negative attraction, the dependent boundaries. Nope, not boundaries. The dependent bondings. Sorry for my language. Breathe. Stabilizing the energy, and also because now we are finishing this last day of our meetings here, and I really have a sense of growing into doing these teachings in English, and I sense the energy is changing, it's maturing. They were really much different than the energies when I'm working with the same teaching in Danish, and it's not due to the language. I can sense that. So there's something going on with the working with the field and the international lines of my work, and I have a sense of it maturing. So I'm really, I'm very curious and adventurous about it, and I'm looking forward to more. And I hope, if this makes sense to you, that you will share it, because to have more to connect with and more to share with, and enhance the energies and answering the questions will open it even more. And so, but only if it makes sense to you. It's really important that we're not sharing from a perspective where we not resonate with it. That's what we just work with and learned, maybe indirectly, with these 6 teachings, manifestation from the pure heart, that it's important to be aligned with the pure heart. And if it's not felt right to share, it's better not to do it. Thank you for the work. And so if I feel sore in my heart, is that because I need to heal more, or because it comes more alive? And we have been training the heart muscles. If you allow me to sense it, I can help you. Otherwise, what I do is that when I have the sense of being sour, then I'm asking, is it because I need to heal more? Then I sense if it's enhanced or if it's not. Maybe it's diminishing. Is it because it comes to life, more alive? Is it because I'm training my heart muscles? Then I sense, and sometimes I sense it all, and often it is. Often it's all the things that we're thinking about is a part of it. To answer a question like that, I need to go closer to Miriam. When the mirroring is working in the teachings, they are professionally at a distance and only allowing things to be shared that's solely related to the teaching. And is sharing, yeah, I'm very grateful. I've learned so much. Thank you so very much. Thank you. So when you have questions that goes into the personal zone, I need to ask if I can go that closer. I'm really aware of these boundaries, and now it is boundaries, because when you work with energy, if you're not aware of these boundaries, and if you're not, only if you are respecting them, you can build up your sensitivity for the work with the energies and the capacities. So when you respect the boundaries of what you're allowed to do with the different energies, then you enhance your sensitivity and your strength. And if you forget and you're by accident are crossing the lines, then you are lowering your sensitivity and your strength in the work with energy. And I have been working for 10 years on hiring them, so I'm really keen about not crossing these boundaries. Yes, please do. Okay, then I go a little bit closer and I sense. Actually, I have an add-on. It seems like you have released so much, and that the way of, what is it called? The way that you're holding your body has shifted a bit. So when we are more relaxed in ourselves, often we can go like this and somehow, have an unbalanced way of carrying our body. And then when we are releasing, even though we are releasing in consciousness layers that lies above the body layers, then we shift in the way that you're holding your body. When you do this, a lot of tensions is released in the body because you're containing yourself in a more balanced way, so your body don't need so much energy, so much capacity and muscle activity to balance yourself. But if your muscles have been working a lot for a long time and they're released, it actually feels like more tensions. So it seems like you're getting a little bit painful here in the center of your chest. And what you can do, if that's how it is, then you can just pressure it a bit really gentle until the pressure is just enough for the pain to release. That works really well for me. And of course, I have to say, always, if we have something that appears, some pains that's new to us, it's important to see the doctor. Not because I sense something is wrong, but because it's important that we not spiritualize into something that needs support from a doctor. But try this also, you're doing soft yoga, having massage supports as well. It can be quite painful actually when we release and begins to relax in the body. And only if this resonates with you, it's true. It's a kind of guessing. So sometimes I'm not guessing right. It feels light with your English. Thank you for the advice about the boundaries. Thank you so much. Thank you. It was so nice of you to have this open for us all. Thank you for the meeting and the participation. It was helpful for me to hold on myself with my hands. Thank you. So keep an eye. I will do more free webinars. And if you have a topic that you would like me to bring up, please put it in as a comment. Watch my YouTube channel, The Voice of Consciousness, or my group, Facebook group, my Facebook site for a lot of these teachings. Oh, a lot. I think you could find 12 lessons now. I think I have 4 or 5 of these 3 days webinars. That's out there. I hope that you will have a party with manifestation and a beautiful relation with this way of taking care of yourself with your pure heart. Bye-bye.